Greetings everyone and welcome back to Captain of Industry and a beautiful shot of our recently completed glass manufacturing industry. We have both concrete and glass now being output to these two warehouses over here, though glass is backing up because we currently don't actually do much with it. We do have a number of research options left open to us, though not that many left, all things considered. We're currently researching vehicle management, and from there we will then move on to greenhouses as well. Though honestly, the rate that we're researching these, I think we could probably afford to improve it just a little bit. As much as I was quick to remove the second research institute because we just didn't need it, I think we could suffer having an extra one nevertheless. To that end, let's go ahead and plonk these down somewhere over here, a little bit further away from everything else. There we go, and then we'll have a second one as well. And this one we can probably just slide this one on in there. I do like the grid view now. It does make it a little bit easier to tell where things are going to be placed. There we go. And once those are built, we can go ahead and remove the old research hub. Right, what are we going to be doing in today's episode? Well, first and foremost, I would actually like to work on a new industry, though it is only recently been made possible by the glass being manufactured, and that is, if we actually have a look at one of the workshops over here, we can turn wood and glass into consumer goods, which our people are no doubt going to appreciate enormously. To that end, let's go ahead and build the household goods studio there. Well, I guess shopping center. Really, it's called Idea. I'm not even going to comment on it. No, I've had enough puns in my life recently. I don't need anything more than this. No. Right, okay, so let's go ahead and have a look into the way we're going to do this. Now, how are we doing for wood, all things considered? Not that good, actually. We're kind of starting to run low. Are we storing all of the wood over here? We probably are, actually. Okay, well, we don't strictly need wood down here. We've migrated away from wood in a lot of different ways. So let's go ahead and remove all of these. They're just in the way at the moment. I would also like to move some more of my vehicles over to tree harvesting. So let's go ahead and move another 2 over to tree harvesting. Now, a lot of this is going to be coming down here and servicing our production of construction materials. But I would like, well, I do want to allow for continuing expansion of this particular industry. But I would like the manufacture of consumer goods to be near where they're going to be used. Now, I guess one way we could do that is actually have the manufacturing just down here. It isn't going to take too many inputs, in fact, just 2 warehouses, but we might want to expand out the amount of workshops working on it. This does pose a couple of problems. That being said, we could have it built down here and then bring it back in this direction with conveyor belts and then in there. In fact, I think that might be the better way to do it. So we're going to want something very, very similar to this setup down here. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's just line it up properly. So we are going to want the input building here and indeed here. There we go. This one will be set to accept wood, and this one will be set to accept glass. There we go. That should be nice and easy. We don't want exports. We only want imports, and we want to keep it at least half full all the time. Let's put that up there. Well, got to do it in the right order. Right, there we go. We may as well go for the maximum potential assembly for this. So the assembly, well, electric 2, so realistically speaking, though, it's the 3rd tier of assembly machines. Right, so we're going to want... How much of these? It's still going to take 40 seconds to make, so we're probably going to want a decent amount of them. But okay, fair enough. Let's go ahead and grab a copy of this. How much room do we want to leave? Probably more or less just enough for this to exist. If we place it there, then we want this to be right up there. Let's go ahead and get 2 for now. I'm not really sure how fast they're going to be consuming these. In fact, we could have a look in here. Only 24 per month. Okay, that's quite interesting. a month being every 60 seconds. So this would actually produce a surplus for us, with the option of further expansion as well. We're going to have these just come out by 2, and then move along there. That'll be nice and easy for us to do. So let's get that on the go. We are not going to need a level 2 conveyor for this. That is absolutely going to be unnecessary. We'll bring that all the way out and up on both sides. There we go. Now, I'm not going to want any truck import here. No, turn those off immediately. Export will also be turned off for now as well, and I'm going to want them to use the glass recipe. There we go. And finally, we will get this one set up. We all know at this point how we're going to do this. We're going to take it up by 1 level, bring it all the way down, and to about there. Pop out, and then straight down. There we go. This way, I can connect to this in the future should I need to, though I almost certainly will not. There we go. That'll be all that we're going to need. Then I just want another warehouse roughly set up to be in line. We'll pop it over there just for the sake of keeping everything where it should be. Though, you know what? Let's pop that right about there. There we go. And we just have both of these output into it. Nothing fancy needs to be done here. These don't build off into anything else, so we just need to bring it all the way down and in. There we go. And that will give us everything we need. Now, oh wait, well, that being said, I could have these be stored in a warehouse and then delivered down here. Actually, that is a good idea. Let's cancel that for now then, and also cancel this one. I think we will have one warehouse to store the goods, but then we're going to run it down here in a straight conveyor belt and directly in here. The alternative is to have the warehouse down here right next to this, but I don't think we're going to need to do that. No. I think we're going to do that in a different way. Research Vehicle Management 2 has been complete. Fantastic. We are now moving on to the greenhouses. Once that is done, the next one for us is probably going to be... we could go for the Research Lab 3. Right now, we're actually doing okay with wood. We've still got plenty of wood on the island, but this is these are the only 2 remaining Tier 3 researches that we're going to be able to open up. One of them is to replace wood. From this point on, we'll be able to use steel instead of wood in all recipes. Rather expensive alternative, but it is a more or less sustainable one compared to the amount of trees that we've got on the island. That is researching very, very quickly. What we will go for next, though, I think is going to be large trucks. So we're going to add that one into the queue there. Now, have we actually finished both of those? So no wonder it's going quickly. We've got 3 research areas working on that currently. But I am going to have this one be shut down. We've only got 9 workers available. Yikes. Let's get rid of that. We do have a little bit more room, though, for pops. Is the population going up right now? We could encourage it to. Let's go ahead and encourage that just a little bit. There we go. That'll be very nice indeed. Alright, now, let's have a look down here. Everything seems to be coming together. Perfect, glass is being delivered. Okay, we will have a single area to collect all of this together, and then it can be piped further down. I think that would be fantastic. Alright, there we are. Let's get all of this going in. Now, we don't want this to be imported. Well, I guess we could allow import into it, should we ever have any stray items, but no exports at all. And we want this to be household goods. And then finally, though it will take a while to get there, we will have these just run along the housing all the way down. Let's hope that any exposure to rain will not ruin the goods. That would be rather sad. There we go. And up. Actually, let's bring that back a little bit. Can we just bring this straight down? We actually can, which is kind of impressive. There we go. We'll bring that all the way over here. And from about here, we'll go back down. There we go. That will deliver all of the goods that we are going to need. Now, I could just snake it up and around if I wanted to give it a little bit more room there, but honestly, I think that's going to be fine. We're going to deliver all of the furniture direct to Idea, from factory to home, in more or less one long trip. Right, well, we can afford to speed things up just a tad. There we go. Have we actually had any wood deliveries yet? Not yet. You know what? Oh, no. It is because we are lacking construction materials, and this is not going to make it any easier. That's going to take 58 construction materials. My goodness. How are we doing with the wood gathering trucks, though? They're not doing too bad. They're starting to wear a good path down there, though. How are our trucks going with the deliveries to increase out the various shorelines? It's going quite well over here. The excavation of these mountains, basically the flattening of this area, is actually going very, very nicely. We've got 2 trucks helping with that. As for this, let's have a quick look over here. Going okay. They're still rising that area before they'll get to anything else, but we have actually designated quite a few spots for them to work on, so it's going to take a little while, to be perfectly honest. Now, as for the coal down here, let's have a proper look. Okay, so the spill from the coal and the dirt there is taking a long while to dig through, and it will, but we are digging into this coal over here. We've got an enormous amount of coal available at this point, so I'm not really worrying about that too much. We could, if we really wanted to, start work on delivering coal up and around, direct up to the smelters, and that might well be worth doing, though we are already struggling a little bit with the advanced construction materials, so we might want to wait on that one. But if we were to do that, then we would probably want to deliver to the iron and steel manufacturing first and foremost. Now, let's have a quick gander here. We're going fine for the corn, just purely corn, and this is giving us 7.5 a month. Down here it's 6.25, but it'll have a little bit of an easier time because we've also got potatoes in there. At this stage, I feel that we might want to switch over to just having corn being grown in these ones, though. I'm fairly confident at this stage that we should be alright. Right, let's switch that back to none and skip all the way through. There we go. I think this will be rather marvellous, actually. Okay, so we've gone ahead and harvested the crops that were there, and we are very rapidly pulling back up the fertility now. It's going to take it's going to apply a bit of stress to our fertilizer production, but we should be okay. Fertilizer is dropping a bit there, but each one, I think it's 6 per percentile of fertility. That one is already fully stocked back up. Water is being applied. Fertilizer is starting to recover. Yeah, I think we can run 4 farms off the 2 fertilizer manufacturing areas that we've got without too much problem. We will have to have a close eye on that one, though, because that one could sneak up on us. Okay, we're actually starting to get deliveries of our first household goods as well. We are very close to getting this finished. In fact, so close that it might have gone for the quick build, but we're just a little bit further off from that. My general rule at the moment, as many of you are aware, is not to quick build unless I have the materials there. I don't mind using Unity to get something built faster. I would rather not use Unity to get something built that I shouldn't be able to build based on the materials that we have available. How are we doing down here in terms of crude oil? We're doing quite well. How are we doing in terms of the diesel? Still doing very well. Actually, managing to run 60 vehicles off just the diesel from a single source. That is actually very, very impressive. How are we doing with the remaining crude oil down here? Only 14% left. So once that's done and we can get this area properly flattened out, we will be building our docks over there, and then we can expand this out just a little bit more. Even though, strictly speaking, probably don't need it. If I'm honest, we probably don't. We've got a bit of sour water here, so we're not backlogged on sour water. How are we doing for sand? We are doing so much better than before. Very, very glad for that. And we're doing okay with wastewater as well. So overall, I'm actually really happy with where things sit. And we've got the first deliveries of furniture going down the conveyor belt right now. Oh, this is going to be fantastic. I've actually never, despite playing this through on stream at least once, I've never actually gotten to the point of making household goods. So this is going to be quite an impressive one for me. A personal achievement. How are we doing with the sand over here? Let's just double check that everything is going okay. Well, actually, we're probably going to want to start spreading out from here very soon. Let's bring that all the way out in both directions. There we go. That'll do nicely. Now, over here, we are currently depositing all the sand right there. Now, what we don't have is anywhere for rock or indeed for dirt. And we are almost certainly going to start accruing both of those materials soon. So what I'm going to do is set up a little area. Let's just make sure I'm not going to be over the top of sand. I would be if I built it there. Okay, well, we'll move it to the side a little bit then. But we're going to have... This does pose some problems. We'll place it over here. This is the materials that we're not really wanting to gather, or at least not wanting to gather them over there. And we'll have rock and dirt here and here. So this one could be for rock. Let's place that in there. We won't have export. We'll have rock over here as well. This one we're going to want, we don't want import on this one. We're going to want to empty that pretty much as soon as we can. This one can be for dirt. And this way we just keep everything controlled. And then this one, no import, not dirt. And we want to empty that as soon as we possibly can. And finally, we want to make sure that this one has got a route for these two materials over there. This way we're never going to send the trucks that are assigned to this mine, this pit, I guess, we're never going to send them over to the dumping areas. We're going to leave that for the general, the trucks in general circulation for our general logistics. There we go. We've finally got household goods being delivered. So we're actually now generating quite a handsome amount of Unity, all things said and done. That being said, you know, we are still consuming a fair bit as well. We can now turn that back off because we have maxed out our population, though we are going to want to continue to expand relatively soon. That being said, we can probably safely move our mine forward and then fill this spot in with some extra housing as well. And I think that's probably a good idea. So let's go ahead and get this mine building constructed, and we can safely pop that one down here. There we go. And in fact, do we have the materials for it? Yes, we've got more than enough, so we'll quick build that one. We want to take away 1 excavator and 2 trucks from this one. In fact, we can just go ahead and hopefully just have that one broken down. There we go. We want an excavator and 2 trucks, or at least as soon as they get returned there, we should be able to move that around. Now, we don't want slag being brought down here. That is going to be the one condition. No slag in this area. It's too close to the homes. There we are. Right, 1 excavator, 2 trucks, and that should be all we need to do. And that is going to give us this little area for us to continue expanding. So we're going to want some more housing. I'll pop that right there. We've already gotten to the point now where we can probably start squeezing in some more housing down here as well, but we're not going to have to worry too much about that one. How are we doing over here? It is starting to stack up. I think it might actually be better for us if we had a 3rd assembly plant working on this. So let's go ahead and build that. I think that would do a lot of good with getting everything ready for us. There we go. Just plonk that one there. And just draw out the remaining conveyors as well. There we go. And we have completed greenhouses. Fantastic news. That is absolutely wonderful. That is exactly what we want. And then this one can come up there and join up. There we go. That will be finished relatively quickly. We don't want import. We don't want export. Those will be left off. We just want glass, and I'll allow them to finish that when they can. All right, so next one we're working on is the large truck. And after that, I think what we would like to do is possibly upgrade the fuel station. Either that one, or we start making a beeline for the wood alternative. That might actually be worth doing. But with that said, getting proper tree harvesting once we get these large trucks will be a really nice one too. So I'm actually going to pop that one in as the next item on the queue. There we go. But greenhouses, let's have a look, make sure that everything is managing with the fertilizer we're producing, and indeed also the water that we're delivering. Slowly the food is getting emptied in. That's good. Very, very nice. We should see the population start to expand here and there. I might even go ahead and pop that back on there, actually, since we're accruing a little bit more Unity. Unity max should have gone up as well. What is our Unity max at the moment, thinking about it? Let's click on new. Our new Unity max is 90. Alright, let's have a look at the upgrade. So currently, with just corn and fertilizer, this one has completely backed up, we are producing 7.5 a month. Let us go ahead and upgrade to... Have we got enough of everything we need here? Yes, we do. Only just enough glass, mind you. But we can quick build that one, so let's go ahead and do it. There we go. Our glass stores are now completely empty. Can I pin glass over here, please? And indeed, thank you. Let's bring that back up and then pin glass over there. There we go. I want to see that at all times. There we go. Right. So, with this one, we are predicting an output of 9 per month. And we are already very heavily backing up. I think we might even be able to get away with just having 3 operable greenhouses producing corn. That would take a little bit of strain off our production of fertilizer as well, and our water requirements. Doing more with less, but having 4 is going to basically future-proof us for an expanding population. Whether or not we're really going to need that expanding population, who knows? We need... Once again, we're going to need a lot of construction parts. That does seem to be the tripping up point for us. That and wood. Now, larger trucks is going to help out a little bit with that, but it's not going to do everything we need. We do have a good couple of trees set for demolition. Now, I'm starting to think that what we might want to do is have a similar setup to our present mining. Have some sort of close by depot that wood can be dropped off at, and then allow our other trucks to come and to collect that. But I don't believe there is an easy way to force our trucks to work, the trucks that are collecting the wood to deliver to those depots directly. And there we go. I've gone ahead and I've built up 3 different storages, and the very eagle-eyed amongst you will already notice a problem. A problem that I've run into several different times, but I'm going to show you how to solve this. Now, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, we've got the usual chain of storage buildings, one that can only accept import, and I've currently told it to accept all of them. So this gives us a much shorter route for our trucks, so they're not spending ages traveling and delivering. They're just grabbing something, dropping it off, and returning then to start collecting again. And this is a much more efficient use of their time specifically. This then feeds into another, and you can see an example of it right now. Currently, this is the only place that wood can be collected from. But what will sometimes happen is they will see that it can be collected from here and is requested over here. So they'll just start in an endless loop, wasting fuel. But you may have already noted that we do have the assign routes option on buildings other than mine control towers. So we're just going to tell this warehouse to deliver only to these other 2 warehouses. At this point, that route is now set in, and anything that isn't a part of this route is ignored. The wood from here will never be delivered to the warehouse at the beginning of the chain. And in fact, we can assign some specific trucks to this to ensure that they will manage that route. No other trucks will really get involved at this point, and that is going to free up a lot of time for the rest of our logistics network. I'm not really sure that it is necessary for us to assign these trucks, and there may be quite a lot of downtime for them, so I'm probably not going to keep with this, but it'll be interesting just to see if that does improve the overall logistics network. And speaking about trucks, there we go. We have researched large trucks, and we are now on to the tree harvester. Next in the queue will be the large excavator, and considering we're doing so much with vehicles, we will then move on to the fuel station. Now, I have kind of been neglecting a few other things that I should have been doing. Let's go ahead and have a look down here. How much are we going to need for this? 600 steel, 300 copper. We've got more than enough copper. Is there any other upgrades that we can add? No? Okay, well, let's go ahead and actually start work on this. We'll need to repair our ship first, though, and then we will immediately start upgrading it. But I think this will be an interesting way of seeing this in action. How are things going down here? We're actually starting to stockpile there. Down here, though, I am thinking that we might want to start expanding that out. We'll give that a little bit more time, though, before we do. But I am definitely starting to feel that we might want to expand that out a little bit. The coal excavation is going rather nicely. Let's just make sure that it is properly designated. Yeah, it's going to take us a long while before we need to start worrying about that. But on the topic of big trucks. Okay, so how much bigger is a large truck over a regular pickup? The heavy-duty pickup truck with a max capacity of 20. It can go under transport if they are at least height 2 or higher. The large industrial truck with a max capacity of 60, so 3 times as much, it can go under transport if they are height 2 or higher. So we very, very much want some of these. However, you can see that the requirements are significantly higher. This one requires 20 iron, 10 copper plate, 10 rubber, and 5 fuel. This one requires 15 fuel, 20 glass, 30 rubber, 20 copper plate, and 30 steel. They are not cheap things to build. Nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to queue up 5 of them. There we go. Once 5 of these trucks are in operation, I'm going to start decommissioning the old trucks, and little by little we will start filling those out. Now I would like to have a little bit more glass available, and I am starting to think that maybe with the glass stockpiles that we have, that it might be worth deleting some of this conveyor and just adding in a little bit of extra storage. But at the moment I think we can probably get away without having to worry about that one too much. My goodness, the amount of corn. We are literally just throwing food away at the moment. That's a little bit terrifyingly bad, actually. I disapprove. Right now we need 27 per month. The 3 facilities are keeping that completely stocked up, which is marvelous to see. That one is fully stocked. I definitely feel that we can afford to expand this out just a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do that one. And by a little bit, I mean actually quite a lot. We're going to go all the way up to 2. There we go. Now this should provide a lot of the materials we're going to need to keep that moving forward at a good clip. There we are. And in here and across there. Fantastic. And let's just get this all the way down. Marvelous. And same here as well. And all the way down. Oh, damn it. I knew one of them was going to do it. There we go. Right. Now we just want to bring all of this together. And we're done with adding in 2 new areas, 2 new factories to produce the basic construction kits needed and that are basically gating our production of the advanced construction kits. I'm hoping that will help quite a lot. Right, okay, now we've just set up a lot of desire for steel. So I'm going to hold... Well, actually, that being said, we have got quite a lot. You know what? Sure, we're gonna click in on quite a few items all at once and see how all of this goes. Now, I am quite sad that we're wasting food. That does actually frustrate me a little bit. But there's only so much food that we can eat. One thing I could do is shut down this building for now, and I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and pause that, allow that to empty out properly, and in fact I might pause this one for the same reason. We're just going to allow some of this backlog to get emptied out. I would also very much like this one to upgrade, so I'm going to tell that one to upgrade. Now the thing with this is once it starts to build, I believe it will stop producing, so that's going to give us a little bit of time to empty these out properly. We are going to be using an awful lot of materials, but hopefully that won't be too much of an issue. Lack of workers. Well, I mean, that's because I paused it. You may have noticed. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Corn loss due to lack of... It's fine. The fields are going to die, I know. But we are producing way too much food right now. There's a lot of better uses for it. Okay, well, all that remains for me now is just to give a little bit of time to pass. So I shall bring you back when all of our trucks are made and our ship is ready to sail, and perhaps even that our greenhouse has been built. I will see you in just a few moments. And welcome back. As you can see, we've managed to make quite a lot of progress. Not only have we finished all 5 of the larger trucks, upgraded to the greenhouse, we've also gone ahead and built a tree harvester, which is currently on its way to harvest some trees. Now, we briefly clicked on it, and you may have already noticed some differences between this and, for example, the excavators. If we click on an excavator, we will see, much like trucks, there isn't much to the menu there. The tree harvester has some differences. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove all of the trucks that we currently have set to tree harvesting. Don't need them doing it. Because we now designate the trucks, or rather assign the trucks directly to the tree harvester itself. This thing is going to be able to strip trees ridiculously fast. It takes a reasonable amount of time for one of the trucks to harvest an entire tree. A tree is typically around 20 logs. But the tree harvester makes very short work of it. As you can see, it just uproots the tree and then just shaves off all of the branches. This is now waiting for a truck to drop that into. Much like excavators, the harvester, I would say, wants 2 trucks. And since we are now producing the larger trucks, we may as well go ahead and designate 2 of those directly to the tree harvester itself. Now, where are these large trucks? We've got one truck down here just delivering some slag somewhere, and we've got another truck over here also delivering slag. We've got quite a lot of the trucks are currently delivering waste materials, and actually they're making very short work of this area, which is wonderful to see. On that note, we are going to want more of them, so let's go ahead and queue up another 5. Now, I don't want to really queue up more than 5 at a time. I could just fill all of that up, but it does take a reasonable amount of material, so I'd sooner not overload the system there. Now, I'm going to wait on upgrading these to greenhouses and even turning them on again until we've gotten through the backlog of food that is just sat on this conveyor belt, not really doing much of anything at all. Right, let's have a watch of you. Now, I do believe this is 20 wood. Let's just double check if I'm right about that. Yeah. So it will take 3 harvested trees to fill a single large truck. And in the time that it takes that truck then to make a delivery, we're probably going to have half filled or maybe even completely filled the second truck as well. So we should have the tree harvester pretty much at work constantly. On that note then, let's go ahead and designate all of the trees of this part of the wood to be cut down. In fact, we'll go ahead and we'll harvest all of those ones as well. We've still got plenty of trees on the map, but we are getting towards that point where we're going to want to start worrying about our access to trees. There we go, that one's already on its way. Perfect. Between the 2 of them, they should be able to handle this. Now, we're not going to start decommissioning any of our current... hang on a second, I spy you over there. I would say you're doing something naughty, but realistically, you're only there because I told you to be, so that's on me. I'm sorry about that. Let me get that all cleaned up. Now, that one's actually particularly bad because every time this excavator was gathering rock or dirt, that truck was then having to go all over the place in order to drop that off, so it was probably really hurting our delivery line for iron ore. In fact, yes, there we are. Okay, well, that should have fixed a little bit of a problem that I didn't realize we have, but we've probably had for a little while. I do apologize for that one. But well, actually, thinking about that. Yes, I know, I've been completely distracted, but I saw a problem. I must fix the problem. I think maybe it would be worth setting up deliveries, rock, dirt, and iron ore over here. Even though this one is actually really, really close. We could even get away, I'm going to say, with just having the iron ore delivered direct from the mining area. Either delivering it directly to the smelters or having it be delivered into the loose storage over here. That may actually be something we want to do. In fact, it is almost certainly something we want to do. So we're going to go ahead with that. But as I was saying, we're not going to decommission any of the regular trucks until we've got all of our vehicle capacity used up. There's no reason to take away from our deliveries until then, in my opinion. Right, we're going to want 3 of these as usual. We'll pop one here, and we'll just have a double delivery system here. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. But if we have the ore being delivered by conveyor, it is going to mean that we have less trucks having to do any tricky work, which would actually be really quite nice. So let's go ahead and have this iron ore. No exports from this one, only imports. And this one set up for iron ore as well, but only exports on this one. And we want to export as soon as there is a full truck's worth. This one can be for the rock, I would say. There we go. No exports there. And this one for rock as well, but no imports. And finally, of course, dirt. Good old dirt. No exports and no imports. There we go. All set up. Now I just need to add in the routes. So 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. That should start to streamline our ore delivery. Now we're probably going to want to have a... Since we're going to be coming straight down all along, I'm going to say we're going to want another vehicle ramp somewhere around here. Let's go ahead and pop that in line if we can. So we want it about 2 steps away from there. That should be alright, I think. Let's just make sure that that actually does line up. It's a little bit wonky, but there we are. Yeah, that's fine. Right, and with that, let's get down the conveyor. Now, do we want a high-speed conveyor here? Actually, I'd say we do. Since we've got a high-speed conveyor taking it out, we're going to want a high-speed conveyor taking it in as well. Okay, well, that's going to make this a little bit more expensive, but it should be okay. We're going to need a U-shaped conveyor, though, of course. Let's bring you straight down, and then all the way along. This is going to be very expensive, actually. My lord. All right, let's bring that all the way down to this corner. And then up and around. Now therein is the problem. What we could do is be sneaky about this. This is the only place that we're actually delivering ore. Well, that does cause me some problems. I could have a ramp allowing access over here, or I could just do away with these. Currently, this is the only place I can think of that is going to need iron ore being delivered to it. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll just hook this up down here, like so. And then, with that done, we'll be able to remove this as having any exports at all. Do we have enough of this? We do. So let's go ahead and quick build. There we are. Nice and easy. So yeah, we can turn off exports at this point. And this should just deliver the iron ore direct. Now it is a little bit of a shame to have a squirrely line like that. I know. Well, I guess one way we could fix it. I hadn't considered that, but okay, yeah, we can actually fix this. So, first things first, we need to connect up. Let's have that connection there. And now we are going to delete this one. And of course, delete that one as well. I know, it's ultra squirrely. It'll be fine, though. Let's just wait for that to be taken care of. There's a little bit of a graphical glitch there. But this way we can have that linking up directly into this line. And it'll actually look quite a lot better as well. And while we're doing that, we may as well get rid of these then as well. Let's have those be completely decommissioned. Alright, now how are we going with the delivery of materials down here? We're just waiting on the steel. Where are we with steel? Yeah, not too good, if I'm perfectly honest. In fact, yeah, we are actually starting to really run down. Hopefully this line will help with that, but we are going to need a little bit of time to get all of that done. So let's speed things up and hopefully our trucks will be able to handle this for us. There we go. Perfect. Wonderful, in fact. Right, let's get that U-shaped conveyor moving out. We want that to be nice and tall. And we'll bring it up to about here, I'm thinking. And then have it simply squirrel back around. Actually, let's bring it down here. And then have it squirrel down. There we are. That actually looks quite nice in my opinion. Quite nice indeed. Now, one issue over here, we're going to need to use the U-shaped conveyor here and just connect that up. No, that is in the wrong place. My lord. Let's get rid of you. Have the U-shaped conveyor connect up there. There we are. Then we will quickly delete... Oh, I'm going to need to do the same on this side as well, actually. There we go. Ah, the trouble I've made for myself by not thinking ahead. There we go. Just delete that section, delete that section, delete that section. Should be good. We do have all of the components we need to get that quick built, so let's go ahead and get that going. Otherwise, the slag, as we know, will actually hold everything up. And just need one truck to come along and grab this. We should be fine. Oil rig has full storage. Well, that's the oil rig's just going to have to wait with that one, I'm afraid. Come along, trucks. Need someone to collect these components. Just a single someone is all we need. My goodness, it's going to take us a while, it seems. On that note, I am a little bit concerned down here that we are digging through this shockingly fast. Biggest problem is if I take my eye off that, I will forget. If you're wondering why I keep going back to it, I will forget. We know I will. And when that happens, oh, the troubles that we will face. Right, with that done, we should still have all the materials required. Yeah, there we go. Quick build, and done. Right, let's have a look at you. You're filling up nice and fast. Alright, we've now got delivery of iron ore. Perfect. Absolutely wonderful. And that should be nice and swift. We should start seeing more iron and indeed more steel being delivered as a result. Now what I could do is add in a balancer down here so that the steel and iron get even production priority. Steel is becoming an increasingly important part of our production. Right now it's how we're keeping our maintenance components going, and in fact we are starting to run out of those, so I'm thinking maybe, yes, maybe that is exactly what we need to do. Currently working on fuel station. We'll get to the large excavators in a moment, but let's go ahead and set this up. Though, that being said, it does look like they're doing quite well, but still, I think having a load balancer would be a wise move here. So a U-shaped balancer would be able to go in there somewhere, perhaps around here even. Can I do that at all? No, sadly. Okay, so I'm going to pop down a little item there, and then we're going to be able to just quickly, snugly delete the components here on either side. There we go. And then we can delete all of that. There. Ah, drat, wrong one. Premature deletion. There we go. We can now delete the central section, and then both sides. There we are. Just allow that to be torn down. Then I want to delete this. In fact, I want to delete it more than that. I would like the lines to be a little bit more orderly. Still, let's go ahead and break that one down on that side. Shouldn't be too difficult for me to do. There we go. And then we can have, as soon as that has been torn away. Here we go. Oh, wow. They sent a big truck to take that one down. That was a little bit more than necessary, wouldn't you say? Nevertheless, I do appreciate it. Right, let's get this all hooked up. There we are. Quick build this one, no doubt. Yep, there we go. And we're not going to give priority to either side. I don't feel that we need to strip that back. There we go. We just want to make sure that this gets done evenly. There we go. Yeah, there we go. I don't want to give priority to steel, though maybe I should, realistically. But now I'll have the option to, should I want to. Sure, we'll use the Unity to do that. And here as well. There we go. So that will get everything flowing again. Perfect. Exactly what I want to see. Now, things are starting to get on the move a little bit better. Now, if we have a look at the map, let's go ahead and continue our exploration. There we go. I think that will be wonderful. This dock area is coming together really, really very well. Now that we've got the large trucks helping us, things are moving forward much, much faster than before. And how are we doing down here? We've actually built another one of them. It is the steel, though, that's holding us back. So now that we've got steel being manufactured again, that should start to ease up a little bit, hopefully. Now, with iron automated to a much larger degree, copper was automatically being used that way, and same with sand, really. So that was really the last one that we needed to deliver that way. We will almost certainly need to build much more convoluted conveyor lines in time, but right now I think that's going to help out a great deal. Let's have a look down here. How are we doing for iron? It's getting through little by little, bit by bit. Things are starting to fill out. Okay, how are the excavators going? And indeed, how is this going? Where are you off to? Are you coming to pick up some coal? Fantastic. Now that is going to be a good delivery for somewhere. Really? Did you only grab some? Huh. That is interesting. Is there only room for 20? Or am I going to have to watch that closely? It may be that wherever it was taking it... Oh, Actually, thinking about it, it could be... If you're bringing it over here, then this might explain things. But only picking up a partial load does worry me a little bit. What are you carrying? Carrying some concrete. You're carrying some iron plates. Yeah, you brought a partial load over here. It could be that when it was queued up and sent over there to collect coal, it only had 23 at the time. And that's why it waited. In that case, maybe I need to set this up so that it'll only head out if there's 60 available. I'll only try to unload once they... Well, actually, if that's 20, we're going to need to be a little bit further along, I would say. Yeah, that's about 60. This way, the larger trucks will only come along once there is a full load, because I don't want them to waste a long trip like that, because they do actually use more fuel. If we have a look at the basic trucks, they require 1.7 maintenance. I can only assume that this is true for fuel as well. 1.7 maintenance every 60 seconds, and 3.4 maintenance every 60 seconds for the larger trucks. So hopefully, if we can cut down on the amount of trips they're making, because I can only assume a heavier truck is going to carry more, going to consume more fuel to move around, then that would be ideal. If they can just idle whilst there's not enough to make a full and efficient trip, then that will cut down on the amount of fuel that we're going through. Not that fuel has been a significant problem for us up to now, but I could easily imagine it being one later on. We're easily going to win this battle. I don't think there's any opponents that we're going to face right now that will be a threat to us. Go. And we've discovered another oil rig. We do not need this many oil rigs. That's 3 oil rigs, potentially. We do have a spare cargo ship that we haven't refurbished yet. So I can't imagine we're going to need any more oil rigs. We're currently just using 1 cargo ship and having all the diesel that we could possibly use. Fuel Station 2 will be interesting because this will allow for a much larger capacity there. Though one thing to be said there is we may want to assign a larger truck to these fuel stations, and I think that would actually be much, much better. They'll be able to take a lot more diesel out there in one trip, and ideally should be able to... The AI, I believe the devs mentioned that the AI had been improved so that when it was delivering to an excavator, it would check nearby excavators to see if they needed a top-up, rather than just taking enough fuel for one excavator, then returning home, and then having to come back for the other excavators, because they just weren't completely empty at the time that it was sent out. That, with a massive tanker like this, will be a great improvement. How are we doing down here? I'm doing okay so far. There we go. 1 full load collected and on its way somewhere. Not enough maintenance. Ooh, that is worrisome. Yeah, we're not seeing enough steel coming through right now. That is very, very concerning. Very concerning indeed. A lot of that steel is being brought down here. I'm going to have to pause the input here and prioritize. In fact, I may have to cancel the input. Damn. I'm going to pause the input for the time being. We're also going to put a pause on building here. Well, I guess we could allow that one to be built. Yeah, we'll allow that one to be built. But the rest of the steel needs to be delivered to the maintenance depots. That was always going to be a bit of a worry. Alright. Well, hopefully, that'll be one last trip. Location explored. We found some rubber, copper, and electronics. Hooray. Indeed, hooray. Okay, well, you can head back, I would say. Go home. Now, does this one offer us any steel? It does offer us steel in exchange for diesel. I am going to go ahead and make that trade. Let's make that trade a couple of times if we can. There we go. We needed the steel to build up first. Alright, well, we're just going to have to wait on that one. I wonder if upgrading the infrastructure would help here. I'm not sure. We'll set that one up to be upgraded. It may only allow us to bring in population, which obviously we do not need in any way. But having on the off chance that it might also upgrade the speed by which it regenerates steel, I think it would be well worth doing. Right, more steel to be delivered. Where are you headed? You've got steel, and fantastic. We're getting a delivery over here. Okay. That is much, much better. Ooh, alright. Well, over here we're going to probably set that one up to be limited as well. And you know what? Sure, we'll set it up to midpoint on that one. So that will be 80 coal, 80 steel before it's sent out for a truck. I don't mind having that little bit of extra room there. Now, with that done, we're going to let our maintenance top up a little bit more. Just allow things to get back to a state of normalcy, I would say. Though that being said, we might want to... Yeah, I don't think we can quite afford to be that aggressive down here. We're going to have to let that one... let that one be delivered a little bit earlier. That was not a problem that I was expecting to face. Okay, let's do a trade. Sure, that showed 30 a moment ago. Are they using it up as time goes on? Might be the case, actually. There we go. Starting to rise back up. And there we are. Now, we'll be able to get 50 steel for 80. Interesting changes in the prices. But with that steel being delivered to the depot, that should help us out quite a ways. Alright, hopefully that will get us back on top of things. But that's clear evidence that we're probably wanting to expand out our production of steel. Right now we've been very fortunate that the amount of steel that we're producing has been enough for us. But I think we're definitely moving into a point where steel is going to become even more important to future endeavors, especially since we will likely need even more maintenance as we upgrade more of our fleet to the larger trucks. Yeah, I think definitely getting a new steel plant, maybe even two, will be worth doing. What we could do for that is move the silos a little bit further down and go ahead and get ourselves a new mine control tower about here, perhaps. Well, actually, let's pop it over here instead. Something like that. And we are going to set this one up to have its area. Let's pop that over here, actually. Something like this. Because we are going to need to make a little bit of extra room, I think. Let's go ahead and set this up to flatten. At least that much. Oh, actually, it goes a little bit further down. Really? There we go. And up to about there. That's going to be an awful lot of rock for us to move. My lord. We're going to need some more excavators, definitely. Not enough housing. Settlement overcrowded. Oh, no. Of course, yeah, we brought a couple of survivors back with us. Okay, well, we cannot fit that there, sadly. But we can fit one over here. So let's go ahead and set that one down. What do we need for it? We need... Yeah, we've got everything there, so let's go ahead and get that built straight away. That will give the current refugees somewhere to stay. Okay, with that built, I'm thinking we're going to want to get a new excavator. And this can be one of the newest large excavators. Now, that being said, it's going to take 120 steel to make. Also, a bunch of electronics. Now, we can get electronics through trade, though we do have some electronics around. We've got 158 currently. Let's go ahead and pin that one because we're going to need to see it. But that is going to require quite a lot of trading to make work. For now, I think we are looking a little bit better, especially now that we are evenly sharing the iron ore to the steel smelters as well as the iron smelters. But we're definitely going to want to try and expand out our steel production. I do not think that this is going to be able to carry us forward for over long. That being said, it looks like we should... Oh, actually, no, that one is still struggling to get its product out the doors. You know what? I'm going to wait a little bit longer before we upgrade one of these and actually turn it back on again. The fact that we're managing with just 2 greenhouses is kind of crazy for me. But there we are. We've got the fuel station too. Let's go ahead and set up a last bit of research. I think at this point we could go for an engine 2, give us a little bit more reach, or we could get truck overloading edict. I think we go for ship engine 2 and then research lab 3 for the next one. Right, let's have a quick look. How much will this cost to upgrade? It will cost nothing to upgrade. Okay. That's a bit of an interesting one. Very well, I will upgrade both of them. There we go. That'll be able to store significantly more diesel in there than before. Is this pipe actually able to carry the diesel down here, I wonder? Let's see. Not really, no. I mean, this would need to be upgraded to allow for it. So let's go ahead and upgrade that pipe. And you know what? We can easily quick build it as well. There we go. That should actually start filling these up properly now. There we go. Starting to see a little bit more flowing through. Alright, well, we've done a fair bit of work in this episode. We have now more or less automated the delivery of iron ore. We have separated out the iron ore to give equal priority to our steel production as well as our iron production. We are struggling a little bit with regards to our maintenance, but it does look like that problem is getting better, but it is a little bit foreshadowing that we need to expand our steel production. So hopefully we can work on that in the next episode. We have started making some of the newer vehicles, though there is one that we haven't gotten to yet, and that is the large excavator. I am looking forward to being able to get that up and running because that one is going to really do some work for us. This is a serious mining machine. With a max bucket capacity of 20, it is too tall and cannot go under transports. This one has a bucket capacity of 6, so that's quite an upgrade, but with a price of 120 steel, it definitely costs to get that upgrade. Do we need a repair? No, we're actually pretty good as far as repairs go. Right, we've also got our own tree harvester, which is doing some pretty heavy lifting for us. But for now, I think that's where we're going to be wrapping up today's episode. I really do hope you enjoyed and will be joining me for the next. We are actually starting to really pick up pace with our terraforming operations, and probably soon enough we're going to be able to start continuing the ramp up to the 3rd tier. I'm looking forward to that one, and I hope you are too. But until next episode, and as always, do take care, everyone.